It's not quite beach season in Delaware, but it is time to get to the track. NASCAR is in Dover, the Monster Mile, and it should be an outstanding weekend. And we kick off our coverage on FS1 with the NASCAR Xfinity Series practice and qualifying on a Friday afternoon here at Dover Motor Speedway. With Michael Waltrip, I'm Adam Alexander, and the weather looks outstanding, but the numbers tell you why it's not quite beach season. It's windy, it's 60 degrees, and I'll tell you what, the track is ripe for speed, Michael.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, Adam. That's what I noticed. When the temperatures are cool and this track's been setting, these guys get out and attack. You can really dive hard down into these corners. This is a thrill ride, one of the most thrilling racetracks a driver will experience in all of NASCAR.
Only 20 minutes to get it dialed in with practice. Let's get an update from the garage and say good afternoon to Regan Smith.
Well, good afternoon, Adam. You mentioned that the racetrack is ripe for speed right now. That presents one of the challenges to this practice session for these teams, though. Veterans and young guys alike. Very different conditions than what they'll see tomorrow. No rubber on the track. The track is gripped up. This racetrack, when it's gripped up like this, drives completely different than what they'll have on old tires tomorrow. Being smart about it and making sure you don't over-adjust the car to what's going on in this practice is going to be a key for whoever wins this race tomorrow.
And Regan knows the key to success at Dover. He won this race 2013, outdone by my man Michael, who won here twice.
Yeah, but
88 and 90.
Been so long ago I forgot, Adam.
Okay.
But it's whether we're talking 88 or 90 or today, I'm telling you, this track has been notorious for getting your attention. You crank your engine, you go out there, you know you better have on your big boy pants, because it is crazy how hard you drive these cars around this track.
And one guy we always watch when we hit the track in the Xfinity Series, most recent winner, the 9 of Noah Gragson, got it done last Saturday at Talladega.
What a thrilling race we had at Talladega, and what a season Noah's putting together. Enjoying watching that young man. Love his personality, love the victory celebrations. How great are they? I mean, he just goes all out, and I just really have a lot of energy for what he's doing behind the wheel as well.
7 career wins, 7 different racetracks for Gragson.
And you can see there, Adam, already up the hill. And it's interesting to me what the groove, how the groove will come in. You can slide and go up high and round and dime in the corner, if you will, or run right along the bottom of the track where the white concrete meets the asphalt. That's probably the preferred lane if you get your car working perfectly.
How much over the course of a long run do you have to search when you're racing at this place as we go on board with Riley Herbst?
And you can just hear how much throttle he uses. Listen.
Real slow down the bottom here. Real slow on the bottom.
Gonna have to work around a couple of cars coming to pit road, but you can hear him working the throttle. You constantly search, Adam. That's just part of this racetrack. As your tires heat up, air pressure builds, it changes the way the car handles, and you can move around. All the way from the bottom as you see another car going way high up ahead of Riley.
Here, you got 2 in front of you.
Look like that's able to work the wheel. That's the 68 that he gets around Brandon Brown. Brandon will probably try to go to school here a bit, see what kind of line Riley's running since he ran him down.
Riley currently 3rd on the boards, ran 7 laps early in the practice session.
And in the last 4 races, 3 top 10 finishes, Adam. So that team's, I've been impressed with. I talked about how well Noah's doing. I've been impressed with Riley too. He's really coming around with this Monster Energy Ford.
2 racers that grew up together, both from Las Vegas, Nevada. And Riley told
down
me,
here, man, looks really nice and yawed out. Doesn't look out of control on exit. The only thing I see is he could potentially use a little bit more of that diamond for the center semi, whatever you think, though.
I talked about that earlier. That means sliding up the track in the middle of the corner to get a good angle off. That's really valuable information.
Daniel Hemrick ready to roll off and make a run.
A little bit quicker than we expected to see, too, I feel like. I was just thinking to myself, it looks like the damn Cup cars did 7, 8 years ago. Like, holy cow, they're flying.
Yeah, copy that. Andrew was looking back just a second ago, thinking like 24 O's would be pretty decent.
She's going to be cool like this all weekend, too.
Alex Yance, Brett Griffin, crew chief and spotter for Daniel Hemrick, our reigning champion, who's hit a lot of bumps in the road so far in 2022.
Yeah, it's not exactly gone the way that team had hoped, but Daniel's such a great driver and champion of this series. They'll get it together, I believe, Adam.
Brandon Jones won a few weeks ago in Martinsville, Virginia, top of the board in practice. In fact, the top 2 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas right now.
That's good living when you can unload it at Dover and take your cars to the top of the scoring pylon. They're running faster lap times than the pole here back in 2019. So as we heard Brett Griffin and Alex Johnson a little bit surprised about what they were seeing, I think everybody is.
It gets our attention watching, but for the drivers, I mean, it really gets their attention. We're on board with Ryan Sieg. He's had such a great start to the year, and one of the 4 drivers going for the $100,000 in our final Dash for Cash race here tomorrow.
That's just got to be a great feeling for this team. They're coming around every race except one this year, top 11. Really steady performance for this team.
Here are the 4 drivers saying, show me the money. Sieg, A.J. Allmendinger, who's won it the last couple of weeks, his teammate Landon Castle, and Noah Gregson, who won last week. Practice underway at the Monster Mile. Observations here.
Well, a bit of a struggle for the Colleague cars. Landon Castle's 20th in his number 10 Chevy, and he's the fastest of the trio for Matt Colleague. And Allmendinger's 21st, and all the way down in 26th is Daniel Hemrick. So they got some issues. The Gibbs car's obviously fast. We knew that would be the case. And this guy, he's got more wins and top 5s and top 10s at this track than everybody else in the whole race. Combined. Add them all together and they don't stack up to his numbers.
Yeah, he's been so good here, winning 2 of the last 7. And Justin Allgaier, a driver that needs a shot in the arm right now. He was on that run of 16 consecutive top 10s when you back up what he did in 21 early this year. And since that time, they've had a lot of things go against him. Here's his teammate, the 8 of Josh Berry.
It was like, what was the last time that, like, what was fastest? Where were we? I think just watching this, the 54 and the 18 have been the best 2 cars. And they hover around between 80s and flats. So then a lot of that's based on traffic too, you know what I mean?
80s and flats, Adam. That's 23 80s to 24 flat. That's the lap time. The fastest lap time so far today has been a 23:40. So they're losing about a half a second or so at this point. And I think it's really interesting. Some of the guys, including Brandon Jones, John Hunter, they've gotten out there and just stayed on the track the whole run, the whole way, and up to 25 laps now. So Noah Gregson, 26. He's another guy that's done that same thing. Josh has only got 15 or so on his tires, so they're just trying to compare and understand lap times. What kind of fall off do you get? That's what's really important to these teams and drivers.
And I had 2 or 3 people tell me in the garage today that that's what Josh did really well here last year on the long run. Moved around, found the grip. He won a stage, he led laps, finished second. He had a really good car here a season ago. And here's John Hunter Nemechek, first Xfinity start since he ran at Richmond a few weeks ago when he led all those laps and finished second to his teammate. And that would be Ty Gibbs. We all remember how that went down. And here they are running together on track once again.
John Hunter's thinking, yeah, I remember this scene before. But this is practice, so he just slides up. And it would tell me that maybe Ty Gibbs has a better car in the long run, Adam, because they've run the same amount of laps. And Ty was able to keep track of the 18 car and now makes his way around. See if he can pull away.
I look at these 2 here, and then I immediately think about their crew chiefs, Chris Gale, Jason Ratcliffe. It's not just the drivers that have the stats. The crew chiefs do too. And that duo of veterans calling the shots for them here tomorrow have been really good here at Dover over the years. 13 wins for Joe Gibbs Racing at this racetrack. That's the most all time. And 6 different drivers have combined to get it done. We talk about the favorites. We talk about the underdogs. I'll give you Parker Retzloff.
We've had a lot of fun with Parker. He's done a great job of getting his feet under him in the Xfinity Series, driving that 38 car up to a top 10 finish, finished 12th over at Richmond. He's always competitive, and you know, he came out of nowhere. I know he's been a short track racer in the Midwest, but when he came to NASCAR, get his first chance here, he just qualified in the top 10 at Phoenix. An amazing accomplishment. And this Ponce car, it looks like Waffle House to me. Do you see that, Adam? You see a little Waffle House
I
there?
do see Waffle House.
I love Waffle House, so maybe that's why I see it. But I just love the fact that he was ready for this opportunity and has taken full advantage of the chance.
Hey, you know, we're talking Parker and an underdog, right? It'd be a big upset if he won here tomorrow. Maybe not if this guy did. Raja Kruth, he's top 10 in practice, set for his 2nd career start.
And you know what? And look at this racetrack. This is a great view of him hitting the bumps, working the steering wheel, using the gas. Let's ride through this corner with him. You can hear him just wanting to get on that gas, Adam, but he's having to just work it down, work it down, work it down, and finally wide open. Top 10 right off the bat. I love that for Raja.
This is a home game for him. 92 miles from where he grew up in Washington, D.C. 24th in his debut at Richmond, sophomore at Winston-Salem State, moonlighting on the weekends behind the wheel of that 44. You get only 20 minutes of practice. It goes by so fast. Just a couple of minutes remaining for these NASCAR Xfinity Series cars here at Dover. The Monster Mile.
Just looks tough, doesn't she?
Now, I hate to ask this question.
Miles, I guess it's a he.
When you won here,
yeah,
were they calling it the Monster? Did it have the nickname of the Monster Mile then? In the late 80s, early 90s?
Feels like it did. It's always been scary to me.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the shoe fit then. I just didn't know if it had been made official.
It was asphalt back when I was able to go to Victory Lane, driving for my brother the first time.
I was going to ask you that. Concrete versus asphalt. As a driver, can you feel confident on one more so than the other? Can one just psychologically mess with you? How do you handle concrete?
You know, the concrete, when you first hit it, it's definitely rougher. You know, you can feel every crack and every dip in the road, and so it's more of a chattery feel that you get here, as opposed to asphalt where you just it's smoother. But there is a difference, and some drivers just don't adapt to it well. But now these days, with simulation and how good these cars are set up and the drivers prepared to get out there, you know, there's going to be favorites and comers and goers. But someone like A.J. Allmendinger, he's going to figure it out eventually, Adam.
Down on the left front, really good. The platform of the car is really good. It turns really good. It's just, I can't put any wheel in it, honestly, man. It's just so loose from the first lap. And then by the last lap there, just trying to not bust mine all the way through the corner.
He's trying not to wreck. I'll paraphrase.
I could have translated that, actually.
but it's loose. You know, he's turning. He's doing everything he wants, but he wants to hammer the gas, and he can't because the rear end is hanging out. So that's why he's probably 20th on the scoring pylon, and that's something I think is really interesting. I've never practiced for 20 minutes and then waited 10 minutes and went and qualified. I mean, that's something that is new to me, and it's so much fun to watch. First guy out in qualifying is going to be Stephen Parsons. He doesn't have any points to fall back on. He's got to get out there and gun it and go. And that's what all these drivers are going to do here in a bit when we go qualifying.
There are no Collet cars in the top 10 in practice. Noticeably absent as well, the drivers from Richard Childress Racing. The two rookies, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill right now, 11th and 13th on the board.
That'll end it, Adam. So
it's over.
You got what you got. I think, and I talked about 20 minutes of practice. You've got to change gears in your mind now. You got to go out and just bust off 2 of the fastest laps possible. You can't worry about, you know, this is all about how it's going to race later in the day tomorrow. Now we got to focus on getting these qualifying laps done.
All 4 junior motorsports cars in the top 10 in practice. The 3 cars from Joe Gibbs Racing, Riley Herbst up there, Raj Caruth, and Chandler Smith. Regan, what are your observations?
Well, Adam, 20 minutes of practice, but some drivers didn't need that full 20 minutes. Josh, you got out of your car after about 10 minutes of practice. How good was that number 8?
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty strong. We had a really good run here last year, so we really paid really close attention to that, and I just kind of made a couple runs, and I don't know, just felt pretty good about it. So just hard to you know, so many people are trying to practice at once. There's so much traffic and stuff, it's hard to tell. So I felt pretty good about it, and we'll get ready to qualify.
Josh Berry, runner-up in this race 1 year ago. Been so strong this season, wouldn't expect much different. Stick around, coming up, we will have qualifying from Dover.
Xfinity Series practice is over in Dover. You look at the top 10 from that 20-minute tune-up, and a lot of the usual suspects at the top. But look at the guy in 8th, Raja Caruth, putting up some big numbers in that practice, Regan.
And when I think of racetracks for a rookie driver, much less a driver making only a second career start to come to and be fast at, this is not one of them, Raja. A very tough racetrack, but you were quick as soon as we started practice.
Yeah, for sure, Regan. Our Circle Chevy was fast, not as fast as Xfinity Internet, but it still, you know, had some good speed. we fired off like with the mock run there, and to just kind of get my bearings, especially after being in the Arca Menard Series car. But overall, I feel pretty decent. Just need to be a little bit more freed up. You know, the rubber makes it worse, that kind of tight sensation. So need more in the loose direction. I think I'll be okay.
Good luck today, Roger. Thanks.
He said that they did a mock run. Welcome into our broadcast booth with Michael Waltrip. I'm Adam Alexander. Explain what the mock run is and why that would be important for a young driver in this situation.
You got to feel it out, and that's what he's getting ready to be faced with in qualifying. Going out there with his tires pressures pumped up a bit, tape on the nose, you got to really go for it, and you need to know what that feeling is going to be like. He has nothing to compare it to, especially at a place like Dover here. So that was a great move by that team. But then he went out and ran the long run to get ready for tomorrow afternoon's race, and he was impressive in that run as well.
You've won here twice. Give me one word that describes qualifying at Dover.
Treacherous. It scares the living person out of you.
Yeah, you can tell me that word during the commercial break. Qualifying is on the way. Can the Gibbs cars back up what they did in practice? Sunday on FS1, the Cup Series heads to Dover as NASCAR's best take on the Monster Mile. Coverage begins 2 Eastern Time on FS1 in the Fox Sports app. Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, and America's crew chief Larry McReynolds in the booth for the call. Regan Smith on Pit Road Sunday, and he's in the garage today.
Well, I am Adam. As we get ready for qualifying here in a moment, Parker Retzlaff been so good in your starts this year to this point. Now we come to a racetrack. You've actually got a couple of starts in other series, and what's it been like so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been the most confident I felt going into a race, but it's not going how exactly we want it right now, and it's not driving exactly how we want it right now, but we're trying to make some changes, and we're going to hopefully keep the momentum going and end up with a good finish here today.
Adam, he can do a little bit of everything. He's talking to us. We're pushing the car to the grid. This is a lot going on down here.
Well, and you're walking and talking, which is quite impressive, Regan. I mean, it does.
A little old school walk and talk from a couple years ago here. Adam,
that's right, walking and talking with Regan. I really like Parker, and you look across the board at what this Sieg operation has done. I mean, we talked about how impressive, Ryan has been, although they had a bit of a mechanical issue during practice, and we'll see where that sorts out. But this another organization that started at the lower levels, a bit underfunded, continues to grow their program, and now they put themselves in position to make the playoffs, win races, and so on.
It's been a thrill for me to watch because of what you said. They started at the bottom and they're working their way up, and they've got a lot of great people working on the cars, and Ryan Sieg has proven that it doesn't matter where you're at, he's going to put that car up front. He can really wheel it. And it's just like Stephen Parsons here, a kid that has Kelly Auto Group on that Chevrolet, and he's getting ready to go do something that I can't explain to you. I'm trying. I said treacherous and how crazy it is. His heart's beating 100 miles an hour right now, and when this lap's over, it's going to be beating 150 because it's from the time you leave pit road until you take the checker flag, you almost have to hold your breath here at Dover. It's just that intense, that much speed right in the middle of the corner. And diving off those big banked straightaways down into the turn. That's a thrill ride as well.
39 cars here this weekend for 38 spots, so one will go home. 33 make it on speed. So if you beat 6 on time, you were in the show. And Stephen Parsons goes across the start-finish line. 2 laps of qualifying at Dover.
I think it'll be interesting for me to see which lap is faster. I would guess the first one unless you mess up, but we'll see. Stephen looks like he's got a good handling car so far in this run. Talked to him earlier today, and he said, Uncle Mike, I'm going to be hammered down on this qualifying run. I'm going to overdrive it. If I mess up, it's going to be because I tried too hard, not going to leave anything on the table.
Confirming, you're not his uncle.
I'm his friend. And friend of his dad's, and just really appreciate who he is. Not only you see him in the race car racing, Adam, on Sunday he'll be hosting hospitality events for sponsors, just here working, doing all he can to keep this opportunity alive.
Regan Smith.
Well, Dan Hemrick a little bit further down the board than what we would expect to see in practice. Did you have enough time to diagnose the car and figure out what you need?
I mean, I got to diagnose our circle Chevy. I just don't know if we got to implement the changes. This is trying to do a lot in a little bit of time, but proud of these guys, all the men and women, Call It Racing. Yeah, hopefully we've made the right adjustments here to pick up a little bit of speed. And who knows, you got to run 2 laps around this place. I know you remember. It's one of the most fun places to qualify at. Hopefully it's as fast as experience as ever met, and we're going to have a good lap today and a good day tomorrow.
Good luck, Daniel. Thanks.
I think that's funny, Adam. I talk about how crazy it is and how intense it is, and Daniel calls it one of the most fun places you'll qualify. and that's pretty cool because when you're young, I remember when I was a kid coming here, I couldn't wait to hit those high banks. You get a little bit older, this place will get your attention. But Daniel's still in the window of having fun qualifying. Looks crazy, doesn't it?
Second car out. Really good stuff from Kyle Weatherman, who went to the top at a 23.78. Second lap going to be a little slower, so he sticks there 100th of a second in front of Stephen Parsons.
That's a nice run for Kyle. Jesse Awuji's car there.
You know what? I thought the lap for Stephen was really good, and it may turn out to be that. We'll continue to watch the numbers as Chad Fincham hits the track, but then Weatherman, as you said, goes out in the 34 and jumps up there. So both guys delivering early in qualifying.
Yeah, I think those lap times will make the top 25 or so. I think they'll be racing this afternoon.
Stephen was top 25 in practice, and so was Kyle Weatherman.
And we talked to Roger Carruth, and they said they made a mock qualifying run. Remember him saying that? He ran a 23.71. So Parsons and Weatherman right there in the 23.70s along with that lap that Raja put up. So that should be competitive.
24.81, first lap for Fincham. And the second lap will be faster, but keep him third. 24.72, second time around.
Coaster home, 24.7. Knowing that wasn't exactly the lap they were hoping for, Ryan Ellis powers onto the track.
And as Ryan makes his qualifying run, we send it to Regan.
Adam, John Hunter Nemechek back in the Xfinity Series with us. Always so quick when you're in this 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Second in practice a few moments ago. How do you shift gears now and get ready to go make 2 really perfect laps?
I got to talk myself into running a lap here, I guess. No, our Acme Toyota GR86 Supra has definitely been fast today. It unloaded well, and we haven't really made too many changes. So been relying on Jason Ratcliffe a little bit to try and pick his brain on some notes and some experience from here. But one of my favorite racetracks to come to. Just glad I have the opportunity to hop behind the wheel, and hopefully we can go get the pole. But a win would be even better.
Good luck today. More importantly, good luck tomorrow, John Hunter.
Yeah, John Hunter should be a candidate for the pole.
Whoa, that was a close one, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Ellis went for a ride after he went to the top of the chart.
How about that? That looks like a flat tire, maybe a right rear. I don't think it could have got that loose. So good first lap though for Ellis, 23.78. What about our first 3 guys running just lap times right on top of each other?
Yeah, impressive.
There's that flat right rear. You can see it. That's a great save at Dover. I'm going to tell you, that young man, he should be very proud of that effort, because you lose a right rear entering the corner here. I didn't see any way he could save that. That was awesome.
5th car out will be Mason Massey. Brennan Poole was skipped in the line, and they were having some problems with that 47. We'll wait and see if he's able to make a qualifying run. If he is not, it will be very challenging when you look at the points for them to be able to make the field here today. Lap 1 for Massey puts him 4th overall.
24.04. Looks like he might be picking up a little bit on lap 2. I believe I'd like to go get my job done in 1 lap out. I mean, give it all I got. Try, if I hit my marks perfectly, 1 and done.
I feel like most of the guys that are picking up on lap 2 are in the green till they get to turn 3, and you just cannot make it work in 3 and 4 to maintain a quicker second lap. Here's Raja Carruth, teammate, 23.78. Ryan Ellis at the top. And Carruth, top 10 in practice.
Gun it. That's just working that wheel, hoping that he finds more grip, making sure you're anticipating that car jumping out from underneath of you. You got to do a little bit of defensive driving at times. And just think about this. Look at his head, Adam. All the bouncing and moving that goes on inside that car. Wow. 23.40.
That's blistering compared to the other drivers.
That's amazing. And
2.5 tenths quicker than what he ran in practice.
It's crazy when you watch the car from outside. It looks like it's just a smooth ride around here. Did you go in?
2340. He won. Good job. How was it there?
Hey,
go on board with him. It's a different story, isn't it?
No doubt. What a run for Raja Caruth. Regan?
Playing him a little bit of a RCR debrief going on right now. Tyler Reddick, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill. Guys, I see a lot of hand signals down here. What's the discussion?
And just trying to figure it out, seeing what Austin thinks, what I think, and what we want for our cars for the race. Obviously, I think it's our first time here in the Xfinity car. Yeah. So just trying to learn it fast. You get 15, 20 minutes to figure it out and then go qualify. I feel like our Whelen Chevy Camaro is pretty quick, and we'll see what we can do here in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, me and Tyler were sitting there talking and just kind of going over stuff that Josh Wise has kind of gave us a debrief on in pre-race, and just don't want to over-adjust the car too much. I think the track's going to be totally different when we race tomorrow, and just you want to tighten the car up, but at the same time, if you tighten it up too much, you're going to pay for it at the end. So just trying to balance that and figure it out. I felt very confident coming into the weekend, but I'm a little lost right now, so I'm just trying to figure out what these cars like, what they need. But I know Andy and all the guys back at RCR are going to give me a good piece. Hopefully we can hold our breath for 2 laps and go set on the pole here.
All right, good luck, guys. Thanks.
Adam, that's what I'm looking for. Hold your breath for 2 laps. I want people to understand what a challenging couple of laps this is, and that camera riding inside Raja Caruth's car shows how violent of a ride it is around here and what a thrill it is.
He mentioned Josh Wise, who works with a lot of Chevy drivers. Josh was a driver forever, but he works with drivers in the Chevy camp now on their physical fitness and also the mental aspects of going out and delivering. And I'm guessing the mental versus the physical rates pretty high at a place like Dover. This is Matt Mills. He's the 8th car out, and he was position 8 on his opening lap.
Something's wrong with that car.
Sounds like it.
Looks like it handling okay, but for some reason he wasn't up to speed.
Here's Brennan Poole. We mentioned the fact that they had some mechanical gremlins, were unable to go out in their scheduled position, so now the 47 is on track.
I don't think he's up to speed either. I think that left rear tire probably went flat. You saw some smoke as he was coming off turn 4.
It's dying on him.
Maybe that was just the engine.
I've got no power. Not running.
Tough break for both those young drivers. 9 drivers have been out in qualifying. The best of the bunch is Raja Caruth. Brandon Jones and the JGR bunch still to come at Dover. With Michael Waltrip, Regan Smith, I'm Adam Alexander. NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying happening in Dover, Delaware, Dover Motor Speedway. We call this place the Monster Mile, and our 10th car out in the session. Top 10 in practice, Chandler Smith, 19 from Georgia.
Talking Rock, Georgia. Young man has won in the Truck Series. Expect he will contend for a championship there. Really talented young racer.
Yeah, and he's driving a great car this weekend, because you go back to last year, John Hunter Nemechek had a great run in this car at Dover, and the opening lap puts him at the top. 23:38 for young Chandler.
I think that just tells you what a great lap that was for Raja as well, because like you said, this car has history here, and obviously Chandler is an experienced racer. Is he going to pick up a little bit of speed here on lap 2?
No way.
Yes.
How about it?
About a half a tenth.
23:32. Big laps, Regan.
Adam, those are very quick laps. A 23:32, the fastest man in practice, Brandon Jones. Brandon, we expect you to be very good in here in a minute. What do you think it's going to take to get the pole today?
Yeah, I mean, first off, this has been such a big improvement over our past Dover experiences. Normally come here really fast on the long run, but need some short run speed. We've got the short run and we got the long run now, so that's a big improvement. Man, I think it's going to be close. We got a lot of grip this afternoon here at Dover. Cool temperatures, a little bit different tire compound too than we've normally seen here. I think it's more similar to more 2020 when we were actually really good there. So Pelonis is on the hood, Menard's on the side. Best GR Super that we've had here so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of time we post here in a minute.
Admiral, I was trying to get the actual number out of him. Brandon wouldn't give me a number. He just told me what he had to do to get the pole.
Well, and it's hard to imagine that it won't be a Joe Gibbs car fighting for the pole just because of how good they were in practice and their history here.
They've had like 12 poles here, haven't they?
12 poles, most all time.
Wow.
Someone, actually it's 11 going for 12 today, I believe.
Yeah, the dozen maybe happens today. We made them the favorite prior to this qualifying session. We'll see if we knew what we were talking about. And as far as the time goes that Regan was asking about, I wouldn't be surprised to see it right down around the 23 flat because of the speed of some of the cars coming up. What about this young man, Kaz Gralla? A few years back, Adam, I presented him with his high school diploma, and he went out and ran second in the truck race. So he's got some experience here at Dover, driving for Scott Brechetta's Big Machine record car, doing a nice job behind the wheel in practice, very confident in what he has and being able to put down a good lap here.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. We'll see where it stacks up. Opening lap is third, 23:48.
He's going to run another one.
Second straight week he's been driving that car. Jade Buford had been the full-time guy behind the wheel, and to make some changes and get a baseline on where their program is. Kaz last week at Talladega, this weekend at Dover, driving a 48.
Yeah, and Scott's committed to the Xfinity Series. They've done a nice job of building great cars, and just wanted to get a chance to evaluate where they were with their cars. And Kaz has done a nice job of running practice here today and putting them in a position to get a good solid run tomorrow.
Patrick Donahue runs the show over there on the competition side. Also the crew chief. And here's Parker Retzlaff. Been really fun to watch, as we talked about during practice at both Richmond and Martinsville. Made his debut on the mile at Phoenix, where he was a qualifying sensation.
It's just been great. We get to see names are made here, and we get to see them as teenagers come in here and be able to show us the talent that they have and how prepared they are for these opportunities.
Fourth on lap one.
Wow, what about that? You only got about 0.03 of a second from 8th to 4th. I mean, that's incredibly tight. And Parker did a nice job of getting all he could there. I need to get Regan to interview one of these guys when they come off the track and see if they've got their breath yet, how they sound after these 2 laps. That'd be fun.
Regan?
Adam, you can let Michael know I'm going to run down to where they're coming in just a moment. By the time I get there, I know I won't have my breath. I'm sure that they don't either. Alex LeBay, we were speaking just a moment ago off camera. You said the car's not right where you want it just yet. Is there any more challenging racetrack than Dover when the car's not perfect for you?
Yeah, for sure. It's a really tough place. We're too high. I mean, you really got to have a good car, got to roll center, a little bit like Bristol. One of my favorite tracks, but when you have a hill handling car, it's a little tougher. But we'll see what we got in qualifying. We put qualifying setup in and hope we can nail a pretty good lap here qualifying the show.
Good luck, Alex. Thanks, Michael. I'm getting ready to run down pit road. I'll be there in a few minutes, hopping and puffing, bud.
Oh, Regan, missed opportunity. You should have sung happy birthday to Alex LeBay. Turns 29 today. Wow. And Michael, you'll turn 29 tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
Tomorrow's my 29th as well. Look at this lap. Pretty good run so far for David Starr, competitive right up inside that top 10. Another one of those drivers in the 70s. 77, 78, 78,
That's
79.
a great lap for him.
That's
up
a great
in the top
lap.
5.
I love it.
He announced this week at Darlington next week, his throwback paint scheme will recognize his car owner, Bobby Dotter, who was a driver in the Xfinity Series before becoming a full-time owner.
Ryan Vargas has been fun to watch this year. Another young man getting his laps in, getting some reps in, and look, putting up a solid lap so far. Probably going to be in the 70s, right, Adam?
Why not? Everybody else seems to be there. Stole the show in qualifying last week at Talladega.
As he did in Daytona, huh?
How about a 23.73, Michael?
That sounds about right. That's a great lap, though, man. I love that. Going for more. It's a good picture of on the back straightaway of the car really buffeting down that straightaway and how rough it is in some parts of this racetrack.
Everybody taking 2 laps. But
now running 23.73 and a 23.78. That's P5 right now.
But no one, faster on lap 2. At what point do you realize the trend and say, just do one and bring it back? Is that a thought process at all for these teams?
A couple of guys have run a little bit faster on lap 2. Not much, you're right. But I think if as an experienced driver, if you feel like you got out all you could get on lap 1, call it quits. But these kids, they don't know what they don't know yet. They got to see what they can get, and maybe feel like the car is going to handle better on that second lap. Keep your foot in it.
I guess I would say too, if they're going out and doing this, you just do whatever you want to do. Manage the time however you like. Opening lap for Brandon Brown, 23.84. He might need to run a second lap here. That's probably not going to meet expectation for the 68.
And it looks like he's done a nice job here on lap 2, picking it up. Running right up in the middle of the racetrack in 3 and 4, and then diming it down really low on exit. That looked like a great line.
11th on lap number 1, 4th on lap 2. I stand corrected. Always take advantage of your opportunities and always run that second lap.
Got to run that second lap, right?
It's a no-brainer.
This guy wasn't too thrilled with his car this morning in that practice. Or excuse me, 30 minutes ago in that practice. Talked to him this morning, and he was, talking about the expectations of this team, and that's win, win, win. When you're a champion like Daniel is, that's what it's all about. So they know they aren't quite where they want to be yet, but I've got a lot of confidence in Daniel Hemrick and that whole colleague team.
Comes in only 10 points above the cut line. First lap for him in qualifying, 23.50. And nosing out in front of our ghost car, the current leader, Chandler Smith, on lap 2.
Did you hear him get in the gas pretty hard there in the middle? Just heat it up real quickly. Will it work?
He jumps to 3rd. 23.42, the official time for Daniel Hemrick. And I couldn't feel more intelligent about bringing up, just throwing away lap 2 and pulling it to the garage, because back-to-back drivers have now picked up significantly and improved their position.
Well, you throw it out there at them. Some of it sticks and some of it doesn't.
Josh Williams driving the 78 for B.J. McLeod. He's our 19th driver to take time in qualifying.
It's a good-looking number 78 Camaro there. That looks like a decent lap. 14th so far. Trending a little bit better here on lap 2. See the nose skipping along the back straightaway there and into turn 3. That'll upset the car a bit. Maybe make it want to push up the hill and not react like he's hoping it would.
14th on lap 1. And he jumps up to 13th on his second lap. We said happy birthday to Alex LeBay. Happy birthday as well to the late Dale Earnhardt, who would have been 71 today. Love the smile of the Intimidator. We could get the big one here at Dover tomorrow. We didn't really get it last weekend at Talladega, but some big names taken out of this crash, among them Ty Gibbs. That's only his second career DNF, Michael.
That's incredible, and you can see a lot of damage to that 54 Monster Energy Toyota into that inside wall in the back straightaway, but he was so fast earlier in practice today. This is going to be a contender for the pole. I said we could get down around the 23 flat mark. We're going to find out right now how close we can get to that.
Yeah, this will be a good baseline on where pole speed time will be. Best of the bunch so far, a Toyota of Chandler Smith, 23.32. Ty Gibbs, put him at 23.075. Nice prediction, Michael.
And that's a good looking lap. That car looks like it's just handling perfectly for Ty. He sure does know how to push the gas. Very talented young racer.
I don't know if this is a product of being young or just his overall approach, but we mentioned that second lap, by the way, a little slower, so he'll stay at 23.075. He doesn't ever think about what's happened. he is always about what's next. He's always just pushing, pushing, pushing. A recipe for success really in anything, you know?
And that's good coaching, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's learned how to approach this sport in a positive manner, be aggressive. You're going to make some people mad along the way, but Coach Gibbs has put a lot of good folks around Ty, and I think that his maturity will ramp up as he races forward and be one of the guys that you have to beat for championships for a long time to come in NASCAR.
Some of his best competition for the pole on track right now, and he's almost 3/10 quicker than the lap, over 2/10 than the lap of his teammate John Hunter Nemechek. It's incredible.
John Hunter looks like maybe edging in on him a little bit here on lap 2.
Second lap for John Hunter puts him on the board at 23:22. But that's still a couple of tenths off of the lap that was put on the board by Ty Gibbs. That 54 showing muscle on pole day once again.
Sheldon Creed, we saw him down on pit road talking with his teammate Austin Hill, and all alongside Tyler Reddick as well there, chatting about what they're feeling and what they're seeing in the cars. It'd be interesting to see if he could make any changes on the fly here in qualifying, if he picked up anything that helped him when listening to Reddick.
I like what I'm seeing in this lap.
That's a good lap. Third fastest so far for Sheldon. Wiggly there. That ought to lose a lot of ground down the back straightaway. As you can see, the 54 car driving away. That was from that big shake down there off turn 2.
Qualifying run is complete for Sheldon Creed. He stays third. Regan?
Adam Chandler Smith was on the top of the board until the past couple cars just went there. Nonetheless, though, your second career start coming tomorrow. A very good lap to get ready for it.
Yeah, no, overall I'm really excited and really proud of my whole Sam Hunt racing team. They brought me a really fast Charge Me GR Supra, so I'm really excited about it and get going here at Dover. It's my second time ever being here, and I was here in the trucks like 3 years ago or something. So second time seeing the track, I think it's okay. I left a little bit out there on the table, and I'm beating myself up. I didn't have no O. I had a low 20, I felt like, so I guess we could fight for second.
I promise I'll walk away too. I walked up to Chandler, Adam. He was on the pole. Right now he's in 4th position.
Hey, you know what? Keep an eye on him tomorrow, not just because of the speed in that car, but his crew chief is Alan Hart, who forever was the engineer for Justin Allgaier here, and we know the success that 7 car has always had. Not just Justin, but going back to when Regan was driving that thing and won here. That is a nice piece to the puzzle, in addition to the fact that Sam Hunt Racing, as I said, ran so well here a year ago with John Hunter Nemechek.
I just really find it interesting when you're talking to Chandler Smith and he says, I was here a few years ago.
Yeah,
like, how were you here a few years ago?
Right.
Darn it. 19 years old, 3-time Truck Series winner. I think he's won like 9 ARCA races too. So
yeah.
He's got a lot done in his young career.
Married, got a child on the way. He and his wife Kinsey, so man, fun young guy to visit with in the garage. Here's the second car from the RCR stable to make a qualifying run. Sheldon Creed is third, 9th on lap 1 for Austin Hill, who won the season opener at Daytona and led the most laps in his career in a race last Saturday at Talladega. He's kind of like you, really good in the draft.
Yeah, you can figure that stuff out. How cool was it to see that 3 car up there challenging for that win?
Oh, that was awesome.
I loved every minute of it in Talladega.
I hope they do that again. Black 3, Earnhardt behind the wheel, Larry on the box. 7th for Austin Hill as we put the 1 of Sam Mayer on the concrete at Dover. He has a win on the concrete, not just here in the East Series, Camping World Truck Series at Bristol, and it would appear this JRM Chevy is stout.
He's right there. Can he get the time off turn 4? Looks like it.
Oh. How great would it be to see these two on the front row tomorrow? Sam Mayer, P1. We're in the 22 second bracket, 22.92 for the kid out of Wisconsin.
That'll get your, if you're a teammate, that'll get your attention. You've got that kind of car up under you. You want to go out and run yourself a 22. second lap as well.
The second lap was slower, but after the first lap, you kind of need a vacation, right? I mean, there's no way he was going to pick up on that. Unbelievable lap for Sam Mayer.
18 years old.
And the reason I say it would be fun to see them on the front row is I think we all recall what happened a few weeks ago at Martinsville when they went toe-to-toe.
Yeah, fender to fender, then toe-to-toe.
Yeah, exactly. With $100,000 on the line. Bailey Curry on track. He comes around to complete his opening lap. It will put him in the 6th position, Regan.
Adam Ty Gibbs always so good at qualifying. Not quite the pole today, but looked like a really good lap for your number 54.
Yeah, you know, I think we have a pretty good number 54 Toyota GR Supra, Monster Energy. I think our car is really good long run wise, and I think that's probably the most important part. I feel like this track with the high loads and the fast speeds, it falls off decently quick. So just making sure your car is good on long runs and making sure you know you got the right mindset for that.
Getting ready to make his 2nd career start here at Dover, Adam. He's like a veteran at this place now.
Yeah, and Regan's 0 for 2. Guys go to the top, he interviews them, and they're down off the top spot. Here's Jeremy Clements, who we had skipped in line earlier. They had an issue. We got to pay off, though. Bailey Curry 6th. That's an unbelievable lap for him.
Those things make me so happy because, you know, we don't get a chance to talk a whole lot about Bailey Curry, and that lap was fantastic. And this track, you know, as a driver, if you can perform here, you can perform anywhere. You believe that the way you've got to attack these corners and how aggressive you need to be, the driver can make up the difference here using those banks to use the momentum through the corner to get down those straightaways. Great job by Curry.
Jeremy Clements, best run of the year a couple of weeks ago in Martinsville.
He was down outside the top 20 in practice earlier, Adam, so we'll see if he can pick it up some.
And his qualifying effort will put him 13th. We've had 25 cars that made a qualifying run. So we're well over halfway home to finding out who will be on the pole for tomorrow's race here at Dover. And next in line is the 27 of Jeb Burton, driving for Our Motorsports, who put all 3 of their cars in the top 15 last week at Talladega, a couple of them in the top 10.
And they put all 3 of their cars in the top 15 in practice earlier as well. And you see Jeb flirting with the top 5 here. He'll slate in 6th so far. See if he can pick it up on lap 2.
23:34.
He was 2nd fastest of the Our Motorsports cars. Anthony Alfredo was the best.
Alfredo's had just an incredible year, I think, moving over there and being the number 3 guy in this 3-car operation, 2 cars a year ago.
And he's creeping on that cutoff line, really close to being a part of the playoff picture right now.
Only 10 out is Anthony Alfredo, going to race number 10 tomorrow afternoon. Jeb Burton is 6th. And here comes Mr. Monster Mile, Justin Allgaier. We talked about his numbers and stat line here earlier in the practice session. All you need to say, he's really good. And if you're picking favorites, forget about what's happening on track today. He's the guy you have to look at tomorrow just because of all he's done here over the years.
That's a solid lap. Goes 3rd fastest, 23:15. Needs a couple tenths, though.
Hey, if he starts that far up, that makes him really dangerous tomorrow.
Door bumper clear on that car. That's the spotter lingo. You know, you get inside the car, a car gets inside of you. He's got his door, his bumper clear. And we heard from Mr. Door Bumper Clear earlier, Brett Griffin up on the roof.
He stays 3rd, does Justin Allgaier. Gibbs cars, JRM cars, really good in practice. All 7 combined in the top 10 in that 20-minute session earlier. And they've got the top 4 spots in qualifying right now. And here comes another Toyota from the Joe Gibbs camp. Brandon Jones is on track.
Man, I like that line, Adam. He kept it really low all the way through 1 and 2. Didn't slide up the hill. We'll see if he's able to do that in 3 and 4.
Pacing really well.
Really tight line there.
I think he might do it. Brandon Jones, a fast Toyota. Give him a 22.87. He is now the quickest at Dover.
You know, I talked about Brett Griffin a minute ago, and the spotters up on the roof talking about how fast these cars are going in practice. Man, they are laying down some lap times in qualifying.
Hey, want to update one guy, Ryan Sieg, going for the Dash for Cash this weekend. They had something break in practice, had to go to the garage area. They did not make a qualifying run. He will be fine to make the field for tomorrow's race. Brandon Jones leads the way in qualifying in Dover, Delaware. Weather looks outstanding this weekend for NASCAR to do battle with Miles the Monster. Only 8 cars remain in qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Dover Motor Speedway. With Michael Waltrip, I'm Adam Alexander, and on pit road, Regan Smith.
Adam, it was a good lap for Bailey Curry, currently 9th on the board. You got out of the car, you showed me your hands. What's a lap like around here? A little shaky?
It's intense, man. It's really intense. I've never had a car that'll do what that one just did. So, and I've also never been bounced off the chip going in the corner and qualifying an Xfinity car. So, a lot of fun. Huge thank you to JD Motorsports, KSTT, Fort Worth Screen Printing, everybody that supports me, and number 4 Cars Fast like Xfinity Internet.
Adam, he held his hand up after he got out of the car. It was shaking just a little bit. I know that feeling, Michael. There's nothing better than when you get out of a car and your hands are shaking.
And Regan, he said the engine was bumping off the rev chip. That's a great feeling too, because when you come off the turn strong and your car hits the rev limiter, it means you're turning more RPMs than you ever have, which means you did your job in the corner. That's a really comforting feeling to hear that. And I loved the fact that I've been talking about what a thrill ride it is, and Bailey's hands shaking, and you can just see that that's a pretty intense ride when you go out here to qualify at Dover.
2 weeks in a row that JD Motorsports has brought it in qualifying. Ryan Vargas, so good last Friday at Talladega. Today, Bailey Curry in the top 10. 2 positions in front of Brett Moffitt. You just saw the 2018 Truck Series champion on track. He's 11th of the 30 cars that have taken time. And here's the birthday boy, Alex LeBay, driving the 36 for Mario Gosling.
Said he wasn't really sure about the handling of his car, needed to adjust it a bit, see if he can put up a decent time. Always really competitive, and that's a 13th position so far. So that looked close.
I'll tell you, if you're disappointed with it and you're able to put it in the top 15, and then you look at some of the guys behind you, a qualifying success, I would say, for the Canadian.
I thought it was close off turn 2, and it's not going to get much closer without contact. Regan, this is fun to watch, this qualifying. I'm glad you're down there talking to these cats after they get out of the car.
Michael, it is fun to watch, and one of the guys that I think had a lot of fun on his qualifying lap, Sam Mayer, 2nd right now in qualifying. This team and your confidence, you can kind of see it growing every week right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we talked earlier, like that confidence is a really big thing, especially here. A place like this is one of a kind, so having a lot of confidence here can boost you that extra 10% that you need. And we've had such good momentum the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we were in the top 5 right there at the end last weekend, and a couple top 5s consecutively the weeks before that. So we're definitely on a roll, definitely have a lot of momentum. Our accelerator Chevy Camaro is really fast everywhere we go, so hopefully it can continue to have that success.
Guys, every time I walk up to somebody, they get bumped down the board, so I'm just going to go stand by myself for a little while now.
Mayer's got a front row spot right now, and he'll keep it for the time being as Myatt Snyder is unable to challenge those guys up front. He's 19th in the 31 for Jordan Anderson. You look at the rookie year for Sam Mayer. It's actually not his rookie year, but the first year full-time driving that one car for Junior Motorsports. Hasn't won, but top 5 in 3 of the last 4. He's got a stage victory, won the $100,000 in the Dash for Cash at Richmond. He's doing so many positive things.
I would say just checking a lot of boxes, making sure, you know, when he does win, no one's going to be surprised. And if he runs off 2 or 3 wins, it won't be surprising. He's a very talented young racer and is taking advantage of this awesome opportunity over there with Dale Jr.
Joe Graff Jr. coming off a career best finish at Talladega in the top 10, 26th in lap 1 qualifying.
He's about a 1/10.5 of a second off of his teammate, David Starr.
Looks like he's fighting that thing.
I think they all are. We saw LeBay almost hit the wall off turn 2. I'm surprised we haven't seen more skids.
It's a thrill ride here in qualifying with 1 car on the track at a time. Tomorrow we'll put 38 out there and see how they handle it.
And that's when we won't be just ringing around the bottom of the racetrack. These guys will be looking for grip from the bottom to the top. passing here is really difficult because you're going so fast in the corners. You see a little tire rub there on the left rear. Nice start to this lap.
Anthony Alfredo, the third and final driver from our motorsports to make his qualifying run. Coming off a good weekend in Talladega last week. His teammate, the best lap for his teammate, Jeb Burton, who's 8th, 23:34.
And stop. There's smoke on the tire. Give it up right there. That's a great lap.
Yeah, he's 6th. Great job by Anthony Alfredo, Regan.
Great lap by Anthony Adam, and a good lap by Jeb Burton, his teammate also. Jeb, right now, currently 9th on the board. How was that lap?
It was pretty good. The guys did a really good job bringing a pretty good race car, and we got solid rock carriers on the car. They help a lot of late model races across the country, so it's pretty cool. But proud of the guys. We got a couple tenths left in the 27 car, so hopefully we can make it a little bit better for tomorrow's race. But really proud of the effort. We've had a lot of good runs, Regan, the last couple weeks, and haven't got the results for whatever reason. The last couple laps have bit us. But proud of the effort, and we'll try again tomorrow.
Good luck. Thanks, Jeb.
Yeah, it might not always be the finish he's looking for, but across the board, this organization has really turned heads in 2022. Qualifying continues next. 5 cars remain in qualifying at Dover for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. At the top right now, Brandon Jones. Best lap for him, 22:87. Sam Mayer's up there, Ty Gibbs, Justin Allgaier. You hear a lot of junior motorsports flavor, so here comes another JRM Chevy. It's Josh Berry, who was 2nd here last year.
And he's up in the top 5 with this lap.
I'd say he'll take 3rd.
Yeah, I bet he goes for more. That's a really good looking number 8 Tire Pros car. I like the way things sitting too. When it gets down the corner, you can see it's yawed out. That means the back end's hanging out more than the front. That makes crew chiefs and engineers happy. They do their job, and Josh is going to wheel it.
This will always be a special track for him. Made his first ever Cup start this weekend a season ago. We talked about how good he was in that Xfinity race, and I'm guessing he'll be pretty solid here tomorrow as well. On board with Riley Hurst, top 5 in practice, driving the 98 for Stewart-Haas Racing.
Oh, that's a good feeling when you get that throttle down wide open and you know you're going to just leave it down all the way up off the corner. See if Riley's head bounces around as much as we've seen other guys earlier. Looks like a pretty decent ride for this car, right?
He doesn't appear to be getting thrown around behind the wheel as much as many others today.
I agree.
6th on lap 1. Lap 2, tracking a little quicker.
Did it.
And it is up to 5th.
How about comes up quick over there? 5th quick, 2nd lap was a little faster.
How about this? The last 6 winners here at Dover that season went on to the championship 4. Among them, Chase Briscoe, who was driving the 98 for Stewart-Haas.
Another one of the colleague cars, Landon Castle. Talked to Landon earlier today about his season. I think he's been a pleasant surprise. I wouldn't even call it a surprise. I expect Landon to win in this car. He's got the talent to do just that. Been around this sport for a long time now, and getting an opportunity after you thought maybe your chance had passed. You know, Adam, that's a tough thing for a driver to do, wondering if he'll ever get in a top-notch winning race car again. And I think that's exactly where Landon is, and I expect that he will go to victory lane in that Storm X car.
And talking to Chris Rice, the general manager at Colleague Racing today, he said Landon has meant so much to our program from a leadership perspective, not just what he's doing behind the wheel, he's producing, and if the playoffs began today, he would have a playoff spot, but he's meant so much more to their group, and he's right there with his teammate. He's 16th. Daniel Hemrick, the only other Colleague car to go so far, 15th, and they're 0.03 of a second off of each other.
Well, they weren't great in the long run earlier today, you know, during practice, and then they don't really have a lot of qualifying speed, so we'll have to see what AJ does, but that's a bit of a concern for Colleague as they get ready to race here tomorrow. Where's the speed?
2 cars remain. You mentioned A.J. Allmendinger. He's next. He'll be the last one out. Here's last week's winner, Noah Gragson.
Saw him down in the garage area. Adam helping push the car through inspection. Had a speaker on the car, and they were all jamming out. Noah was dancing. I said, it feels good to be the winner, isn't it? Coming out of Talladega like that. Awesome feeling for this team and this crew.
The ghost car had a moment there, didn't it?
It flipped out.
Good lap for Noah Gragson. Second time around, puts him third. 23 flat, 23.018. And then there was one. Joe Gibbs Racing trying to win a pole at Dover for the 12th time. Brandon Jones at the top and A.J. Allmendinger, the only person that stands between him and a P1 starting position here tomorrow.
We heard A.J. talking about his car in practice, that it was just a little bit loose, needed that back end to stick better. That's kind of a treacherous feeling when you go out for qualifying here, knowing that practice you were loose. Can the team make the adjustments where you can hammer down?
His teammates outside the top 15. Allmendinger goes up to 8th on lap 1.
Look at that car, it's loose. He keeps his foot in it though as he bobbles off turn 2.
Allmendinger coming around to complete his qualifying effort. And he will go no faster. He stays 8th. That's where he will start tomorrow. Your pole sitter is Brandon Jones, 4th career pole, and it's his first pole of 2022. The 19 is at the top of the scoring pylon in Dover. Brandon Jones wins a pole at the Monster Mile for the 2nd time in his career. He'll start on the front row tomorrow with Sam Mayer. For Joe Gibbs Racing, it's their 12th pole all time here at Dover. Regan.
Adam, he wouldn't give me a lap before he went out and made his qualifying effort, but certainly a 22.87 was more than enough. That was a really fast lap, Brandon.
Well, we joked. I got out of the car after practice, and I didn't even know what my lap time was. I just knew we were top of the board. So this is 2 for 2, and our GR Supra is certainly as fast as Xfinity it is this weekend. And awesome to be able to go out, set fast time in practice, set fast time in qualifying. That was a big lap, man. That's a lot more than I expected. But based on practice, we're just carrying so much throttle this weekend here. I don't know if it's a little bit colder temperatures or a different tire compound or what we brought this weekend, but I know that these guys brought the heat. They've been working really hard on getting Dover a lot better. This has been a track in the past where it's kind of a hit or miss for us. We've had speed in the past and been a little bit off in the past, but really looking forward to tomorrow here after seeing what our speed's like today.
Nice job, Brandon. Congrats.
And it looks like, as you compare practice and qualifying, tomorrow we'll be talking a lot about the guys from Joe Gibbs, a lot from the drivers at Junior Motorsports. Don't write off A.J. Allmendinger and Riley Herbst, who have been impressive as well.
They've had great seasons, and they rebounded for some quality qualifying times there. But I'm telling you what I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Adam, is that high groove. You can see the rubber's already laid down up toward the outside wall. Will they go all the way out to the outside wall? Will there be 2-3 lanes of racing? I think so. When you've got as much grip as these guys had today and run these kind of lap times, you're going to have some options to move around on this racetrack, and that's going to be really fun to see all the different angles these drivers try to take into the corners as they race tomorrow.
Other thought process tomorrow, not a lot of practice time today. You didn't get a true feel for your car on the long run. We do have long green flag runs here, including in that final stage, typically in the race. So tomorrow the players could change. And speaking of tomorrow, here's the lineup on FS1. Cup practice and qualifying happens at 10:30. Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, and Larry McReynolds in the booth. Race day for these Xfinity cars happens following that at 12:30, and then at 1:30, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano join me in the booth to call the 200-miler here at Dover. Coming up next on FS1, it's Speak for Yourself, and then at 6 Eastern time, we'll get you ready for a big weekend of NASCAR at the Monster Mile. It's NASCAR Race Hub right here on FS1. It was a fun afternoon of qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Congratulations to Brandon Jones. He will start on the pole here tomorrow. For Regan Smith and Michael Waltrip, I'm Adam Alexander. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you once again tomorrow from the Monster Mile.